Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Evan Freiberger, and today we're going to be covering the snowstorm that is out there right now. We do have some heavier snow starting to move into northwestern Arkansas, trying to pull up into parts of Fayetteville and eventually up into Rogers as well. If we come over here to our kind of widespread view, you can see that we currently have snow falling really anywhere from northern Arkansas, going up into starting to start off over here into Missouri, and then also over here near Wichita in Hutchinson. So we do have a decent little amount of snowfall starting off here. If we look at our winter weather warning or winter storm warnings here, you can see that we do have some winter storm warnings all the way out from Hayes, Great Bend, Hutchinson, Wichita, Tulsa, down into Tahlequah, Joplin, Springfield, Cape Girardeau, Jonesboro, Memphis, Jackson, Hopkinsville, Evansville, Louisville, Richmond, Clarksville, Nashville, and then also over here south of Charleston. And then we also have some winter storm warnings over here for Greenville, Jacksonville, Kitty Hawk, Virginia Beach, and southern Maryland, and parts of Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina, with the winter weather advisors being in the kind of purplish color here. And you can see that actually works its way down into parts of Mississippi, going into Alabama, Georgia, and a decent portion there of North Carolina. A lot of that's going to be for freezing rain potential. But on the northern side of these winter weather advisories, we are expecting some chances here for some snow and maybe even some accumulating snow in some of these parts. Need to send that stuff down here to Lawton. I wish I could. Yeah, I wish I could send snow wherever I wanted. But then maybe nobody else would get snow, and Alabama would be pissed. Driving home now, and you're petrified. Where are you driving home from? Driving south on 75, it was snowing from North Lexington, Richmond, Kentucky, now clear south of Richmond. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is a little bit of a kind of extra little snow band over here near Louisville, Lexington, and Richmond as well. So a little bit of a surprise snowfall over there. Some of our heavy amounts back over here into the Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas region. If we come over here to where some of our heavier snowfall amounts are, let me go ahead and take off these winter alerts just so we can see the map a little bit clear. If we come back over to here and look at our Fort Smith radar and then turn on our precipitation type here, you can see that some of our heaviest snow is happening over here in Springdale and Fayetteville, with some even heavier snow about to pick up back over here into Oklahoma and eventually move up into the Arkansas region. If I come over here to one of our traffic cams, you can see that this is actually over there near Springdale. And you can see that we're already starting to get some accumulation over here, and also some decent snow is also already falling here near Springdale. And that's only going to get heavier as we move throughout the day. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty much a day and a half to 2 days here of some snow all the way from Oklahoma and Kansas to North Carolina and Virginia. You want 2 feet of snow? That's a lot of snow. And no problem, Christopher. No problem. So let's kind of go over our latest models. We do have some model runs that have come in today. No real big changes, but there is a lot of models starting to indicate maybe potentially a brief but still pretty heavy snowfall potential down here in the southeast. But this is our latest HRRR run. And starting this off, you can see, a little bit behind here on this HRRR run, but as we move into around 10, or not 10, 11 and 12 p.m., so pretty much right now into the future here, you can see that we are going to see some pretty heavy snow start to pick up really from now going into 11 a.m. And that's going to be mainly over there near Tulsa, Nowata, and Fayetteville as well. And then as we continue to push this 2 hours more into the future, you can see it only gets heavier. Some of our heaviest snow is going to be falling over here into northeastern Oklahoma, also southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. And that's going to continue into 2 p.m., 3 p.m., also 4 p.m. here. You can see that we do have a decent portion here of some heavier snow happening up on the northern portions of Arkansas and southern Missouri. Southern Missouri is going to be it's going to be lighter to moderate snow there in southern Missouri, but it's going to last a little bit longer than some of these other spots. And so you can see it kind of starts off pretty early up there, but it just keeps on going for a while. But our heaviest snow out of this snow event is really expected over here into northern Arkansas, southwestern Oklahoma, or sorry, not southwestern, northeastern Oklahoma. And then eventually, as we get into around 5 p.m., we're going to start to see some light to moderate snowfall over here near into portions of Illinois, also over there into Kentucky, and starting to move into Tennessee by 5 p.m. A lot of freezing rain and sleet is going to be possible. Really starting off, it's kind of already started off over there near Oklahoma City, where we have some reports of some icing on the road. So be careful over there near Oklahoma City and to the east and west of Oklahoma City, as we are already getting reports that roads are starting to turn into ice skating rinks out there, and driving conditions are starting to get a little bit more dangerous there into central and kind of eastern Oklahoma there. And eventually that's going to start to spread into Arkansas, which we're already starting to see a little bit. But areas like Little Rock, starting off initially here, are going to be in some pretty heavy freezing rain. So we really got to watch those roads, really got to watch out if you are, if you have an emergency, you do need to drive. Drive very slowly, no sudden turns, no sudden breaks. But if you don't have to drive, I would definitely recommend that you do not drive, as it's going to be pretty dangerous there a little bit further to the south. But now coming into around 7 p.m., you can see that snow is starting to really push into central Kentucky here. A little bit heavier snow starting to pick up here into northwestern Tennessee there, and a lot of northern Arkansas is in some heavier snow. There, with the snow slowly diminishing over here into Oklahoma and Kansas as we move into 7 p.m. Today. Still a lot of freezing rain and sleet happening down here into central Arkansas, but you can see that snow line is pretty far down in the south. We're talking about Fort Smith might get into some decent snow before this is all said and done. Conway could do the same thing. Maybe even Memphis there as well, especially on the backside of this storm. And as I push this 2 more hours into the future, you can see we should have a snow band, all the way through Kentucky at this point, starting to reach into West Virginia and parts of Virginia. Also over here near Nashville, Clarksville, Jackson as well, starting to get in on some light to heavier snow, especially over here in western Tennessee. And then you can see Fort Smith and Jonesboro still getting some decent snow over there in Missouri, still getting light to moderate snow from Springfield, potentially some light snow there near St. Louis, Cape Girardeau as well. And then Tahlequah and Tulsa still in some decent snow there as well. Also, further down to the south here, we do have a small chance for severe weather over here near Houston, Galveston, Beaumont, all the way to Baton Rouge and New Orleans. It's a small area. We're not really expecting too much as we come over here to our instability. We have a little bit of, well, I haven't checked the latest models. Yeah, most of our instability is still off of the coast. We're not really expecting that to get in a little any further. Our lower level winds are pretty weak associated with this storm, so we're not really talking about an elevated risk for tornadoes due to our shear without any, instability. But we do have some chances here for some damaging winds with some of these guys. So if you live in the Baton Rouge, Beaumont, and New Orleans area, just make sure you're watching out for that threat as we move throughout the day. Let's come back over here to our precipitation type. Let's see. Tulsa is icy. Interesting. This is a week for Wichita snow totals wise. Everything else is bad. Okay. Thank you for the update there. Yeah, no problem. No problem. We're just going to do a little quick forecast here, go over the latest snowfall amounts, and then we'll also, do some coverage as well. A lot of coverage, actually. But yeah, so as you can see, still heavier snow as we move into 11 p.m. And as we go to around 12 to 1 a.m. here, we're going to start to see some moderate to heavy snowfall for most of Tennessee. Northern Mississippi could also be into some moderate to heavy snowfall. Kind of interesting here, you can see that line, that rain snow line is right here in this area. If we just have a little bit more warmer temperatures aloft, we could see mostly freezing rain into the northern Mississippi, northern Alabama area. But if temperatures and the models hold strong as the storm actually happens, And then there's a good, decent chance that we could even see some accumulating snow, as potentially as far south as Little Rock, maybe like a dusting there. Also going into Mississippi and northern Alabama as well. You can see over here into Tennessee, we already have some moderate to heavy snowfall, or not already, but by 1 a.m. We're gonna have moderate to heavy snowfall over there near Jackson, also Nashville as well, and with even some lighter snow happening as far south or as far north as southern Indiana. Most of Kentucky is going to be into some light and heavy snow or light to moderate snowfall here by 1 a.m. Same over there with southern West Virginia. Going into 1 a.m. And then as we push this into 3 a.m., you can see that there's a decent portion here of northern Mississippi, also northern Alabama, that it's going to be in some, light to potentially even heavy snowfall, especially over there into Florence, potentially Huntsville as well. And you can see that continues, and that could be actually some of our heaviest snowfall that happens throughout the night here. But it's going to be a really brief shot of that moderate to heavy snowfall, and there's still no guarantee that that's going to be 100% snow. We're still a little bit uncertain on where that rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow line is going to be as this moves into the southeast. It's kind of always an uncertainty, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But as we continue to push this forward into 9 a.m. tomorrow, kind of early morning tomorrow, you can see that over there near Knoxville, Johnson City, Bristol, Asheville, Galax, Roanoke, Harrisonburg, and Richmond are going to be into some light to moderate snow with potentially some heavier stuff happening over here near Franklin. But again, kind of low confidence on whether or not this is going to be all snow or maybe a snow sleet mix with some freezing rain. Kind of hard to tell. Especially given the fact that freezing line, it looks like it's mainly over there into some of our higher elevations. So might not see too much snow in the lower elevations over there. Now, as we push this forward, we are expecting a little bit of a reorganization of our snowstorm as this moves into the eastern coast. The HRRR has a decent portion here of some heavier snow happening over there near Richmond, Virginia Beach, going down north of Raleigh into Elizabeth City, and that kind of lasts for a little bit. But as we move into 3 p.m. tomorrow, it's kind of gone. There's still some remnant snow on the backside of this thing over there near Virginia Beach and Greenville, but a lot of that is going to be light to moderate. But you can really see as soon as this storm kind of enters over some of these warmer waters out over here in the Gulf of Mexico, we really start to see a heavy band, but it's really just off of the coast here. So kind of an interesting thing there. Obviously, the models are still locked in here on no nor'easter, and the kind of the most northern snow potential is over here near Washington, Georgetown, with some light snow there. So still a decent little snowstorm coming for a lot of people, especially over here near Missouri and Arkansas. Those are going to kind of be the winners, I guess, of the highest snowfall totals. So let's kind of go look at our HRRR and see what it's saying for our latest totals. So over here near Wichita, Kansas City, Jefferson City, also Springfield, Tulsa, we're expecting anywhere to 4 to 5 inches in most of those areas. But back over here near Nowata, Joplin, Springfield, and this is what's to come, mainly over here in northwestern Oklahoma, southwestern Kansas. This is more to come there. Joplin, Springfield, Cape Girardeau is going to be in that area where we're expecting 6 to 8 inches. Some isolated spots near Springfield and northern Arkansas could pick up anywhere from 10 inches to maybe 12 inches if these models hold. If we get any kind of changing of the temperatures aloft, we could have a little bit lower snow ratios than what's expected. But as we go into the later night portions of tonight, we're expecting higher snowfall ratios, which means essentially how many inches per snow per inch of precipitation or per inch of rain. And as that, the typical one that we use is 10-to-1 ratio, which is what we're using right now. But, if you have like a 12-to-1 or a 15-to-1, you're going to see faster accumulation than the 10-to-1 ratio. To just understand that some of these amounts could be locally higher, especially as we go later into the night, if the models, especially in the upper levels of our temperatures, kind of stay consistent here. Now, as far south as Tupelo, Florence, and Huntsville, we can see a dusting to an inch moving into Tennessee. It looks like Nashville and Jackson are going to be sitting around anywhere from a couple of inches to 4 to 5 inches, especially further up north, like areas like Clarksville, Hopkinsville, Richmond, Louisville, Evansville as well. And then south of Maysville, 4 to 5 inches up there with some isolated spots of 6 inches possible in and around the Richmond area going up into kind of southwestern West Virginia. Now, the HRRR has something interesting back over here. Really not a whole lot of snow for most people back over into this region. We're talking about maybe a dusting to an inch there near Galax, Roanoke, Greensburg, and Raleigh. Virginia Beach, Richmond, Salisbury, though, still getting into those 4 to 5 inch marks. So big downgrade, especially on our eastern extent here for some snowfall over there, and that accumulation. We had like 6-8 inches over there on the HRRR yesterday, and we're definitely not seeing as much today. But obviously, this isn't our only model, so let's go check out some of our other models and see how these opinions differ, and then we'll try to come up with an average or at least a range that you can listen to. So here is the this is the NAM 3K model, and as you can see, we have big differences here. I think getting over a foot of snow over here is an outlier. Okay, but just know that 4 inches is probably going to be your base for today's range. I would expect anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, especially back over in this region where we're expecting a little bit heavier snowfall throughout the day. It seems like the main difference is just how much snow we get and how far south. So it looks like it has most of Tennessee here into that 4 to 5 inch range with some lighter accumulations in some spots, and then also in northern Mississippi going into Alabama as well. We have 1 to 2, maybe some isolated spots of 3 inches, especially over here into western Alabama and northern Mississippi. And then you can see back over here near Springfield, kind of in the same area of where the HRRR said for some of our heaviest snowfall. And just keep in mind that this is a 10-to-1 ratio. If we get any ratios higher than that, like 12-to-1 or 15-to-1, we're going to see some isolated spots above this. But still, anywhere from 10 inches to 12 inches of snow is going to be possible here into this region, with lower amounts as you go further to the north and lower amounts as we go further to the south. So a little bit of differences here between our models. But it seems like there's a lot of consistency back over here, at least in Missouri and parts of northern Arkansas. So that's the NAM 3K. We'll look at one of our global models as well, just to kind of get an understanding of what at least the GFS is saying. So yeah, looking at the GFS here, you can see that it's not as bullish. It's for that heavy accumulation. Now that could just be because of its struggle to handle like the smaller details of storms. GFS is more of a broad kind of model. It doesn't really have a high resolution, so it can miss out on like those higher snowfall accumulations in some areas. But one thing that's interesting in terms of the GFS is just how far south a lot of the snow goes. I mean, we could have potentially some snowfall accumulation just to the north of Birmingham, potentially 1 to 2 inches all the way up there north of Birmingham going into Huntsville, and then maybe even 4 inches of snow possible up here into northern Mississippi, with some lower amounts going down. Further down you go south. Back over here in Greensboro, Durham, Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Virginia Beach, also Richmond. You can see that it has a decent little band here of around 4 to 8 inches being possible there. So definitely kind of the middle ground. I would say this is probably one of the more realistic scenarios, but I would have your realistic expectations, especially if you're already expecting some heavier snow, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, kind of in this blue line here, and then 2 to 4 inches back in and around that in some of our bluer and lighter blue colors there. But yeah, overall, that's kind of how what we're thinking here. Some decent snow is coming for some folks. A lot of uncertainty here in the south portion of this, so don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow morning to go to work and you find out that all the roads are closed and you can't go to work. That is a possibility tomorrow. Even if you get like 1 inch to 2 inches of snow, or if we just get a bunch of icing tonight in northern Alabama, could definitely have some travel issues high enough to shut down roads and kind of disrupt your kind of daily your daily activities there into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, even potentially northern Georgia and northern South Carolina, according to the GFS. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now in terms of our latest snowfall totals. Let's come back over to here and check out our winter weather radar here and just check back in with who's getting what. So yeah, it looks like over here our heaviest snowfall totals are back over, our heaviest snowfall amounts are back over here near Muskogee, Tahlequah, Stillwell. It's like Fayetteville. Let's put this in motion just to see where this is going. Yeah, it looks like Fayetteville is just about to get into some pretty heavy snow there. Let me come back over here to our cameras. This is in Arkansas, in Springfield, just to the north of Fayetteville. But I want to see if we have any cameras, good cameras, in the Fayetteville area. Let's see. We don't have any further south, unfortunately. Is this the right website? Yeah. So we have one over west of Springfield. Oh, wow. Yeah. Decent amount of accumulation already piling up here in northwestern Arkansas as well. You can see that some pretty decent snowfall is coming down. And yeah, the grass is almost covered completely. Moderate snow in the Joplin, Missouri area with wind chill below zero. That is too dang cold. Near Springfield, Missouri, too, we used to get snow like this every year when I was growing up here. You love it. Well, I'm glad. Are you guys getting some good snow right now in Springfield? We do have some cameras in the Missouri area as well. Some of them are kind of low quality, so I'm not sure how much they're going to help with today's coverage. But yeah, I think this is Springfield over here. Let's go check out what's happening. See if we can get like one that's closer to the to the ground here. Wow, decent amount of traffic happening over here. Yeah, some pretty decent snow already. Some decent accumulations too. You can barely see the grass anymore here in Springfield. For you, Jared, since you live in northwestern Oklahoma, I would expect anywhere from like 4 to 6 inches. Already 4 inches there in Springfield. Nice. Yeah, let's go check out our MPing over here just to kind of monitor where our snowfall reports are coming from right now. Seems like we're actually even getting some. We were getting some snow reports over there near Oklahoma City. Seems like those have quieted down a little bit. Looks like Tulsa is also starting to get some snowfall reports over there. Snowfall reports over here near Springdale, Springfield as well. Any places where it's kind of surprising? Yeah, over there near Little Rock. Apparently, we're getting a decent amount of snowfall reports there in Conway, Russellville, and Little Rock. Let's go investigate that really quick. Where's our Arkansas? That would be over there, and kind of like we do have cameras in that area. Apparently, we're getting some snowflakes already in Little Rock, which would be pretty interesting. Wait, why is this so zoomed in? Why can't I zoom it? Okay, so that goes down. Where's Little Rock? There, is that Little Rock? I don't think so. That's Fort Smith. Okay, so we got to go to the right. There we are. This is Little Rock. Yeah, our snow reports are coming out from over here, apparently. Probably not heavy snow. Not seeing any flakes. Go a little bit further north where that other snowfall report was. Yeah, if there's any flakes falling, it's probably very light snow. Yeah, probably very light snow. On our radar, you can see that over there near Conway, Little Rock, and Morrilton, there's very, very light snow, but every now and then you might see a couple of flakes out here. The radar says that this is mixed precip, but it seems like, we're getting some reports of some snow mixed in with there as well. How much snow have you already gotten, Jared the Storm Chaser? It's colder here than Anchorage, Alaska. Oh man. Yeah. And it's gonna get cold down in the southeast, but not as cold as it's gonna get for you guys up here. I mean, we could have I think our latest models, even like uh not accounting for that wind chill. We could have negative temperatures pretty far to the south. Yeah, look at that. So in this kind of like weird lightish green color here, that's all negative degree temperatures. And yeah, that's only going to, yeah, it's apparently that could go as far south as areas like northern Arkansas, also into Missouri. Ugh, that is way too cold. I'm just getting cold looking at this map. Yeah, it'll last for a little bit, all the way through the 20th. Very cold up there in the northern United States today. No bueno. Definitely glad I live in the southeast, but I will tell you, just given the fact that we all have different thresholds for what temperatures we consider really cold, um, I probably feel pretty similar to somebody that is feeling like negative 30 up there in North Dakota. Probably feels pretty similar to like 28 degrees down here to me because I'm not adjusted to the cold at all. Not even an inch yet. Yeah, I mean it's supposed to pick up. So if we look at our latest models for north eastern Oklahoma, you can see that it's supposed to be picking up really from now all the way into 1 a.m. And total snowfall, at least from the HRRR, still has anywhere from 4 to 6 inches possible up over here. But just given the way that the snow is kind of falling already, and comparing that to the HRRR, it kind of seems to be onto something there. If we get a little bit higher snow ratio, you might get anywhere from 6 to 8 inches. But I think 11 inches is a little bit of a stretch. We'll have to see. Uh, we'll have to see. Probably like the high end of your range, just in case some of these other models are correct. You're in Little Rock, just a smaller amount of freezing rain, no snow yet. Okay, yeah. So our snow reports in Little Rock have been like up here and up here, and we really don't have a whole lot of snow happening right now on our radar in that area, but some light snow. So there might be like a flake or two falling. You'd have to probably stay outside and look quite a bit. Oh wow, you warmed up all the way to 12 degrees. Been decently snowing since probably 9 in Springfield. I should measure. Yeah, measure it and let it and report back to us. Now, let me bring this one of our cameras back over in the good snow over here in Arkansas. Some of our heaviest snow, at least that we've been able to find on camera, is happening further up to the north in Arkansas near Springdale. Had about an inch of snow last night in Troy, Missouri. Nice. Yeah, this is up here to the north in northern Arkansas right now. And there's some decent snow coming. Decent snow falling. This is back over in Springfield. Yeah, get that back up here. So this is Springfield, Missouri. And you can see that they're already getting some decent accumulation out here. We also have a small chance for some thunder snow today. Be interesting if we can catch that live. Oh wow, yeah, visibility is pretty low here across the Springfield area. Some decent snowfall happening up there. Here's a good camera. Let me press that play. There's a good camera with a good view of the snow here. This is near Kimborough and Battlefield. Coming down pretty good around the Joplin area. We've already gotten roughly 2 to 3 inches. Oh, let's go check out Joplin. Joplin is over here, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wow, yeah, yeah. Y'all's roads and grassy areas are all the way covered almost. Visibility seems pretty low, and this is just the start of the snow. It should pick up and get a little bit heavier, over the next hour or so. We really are expecting that snow to pick up in intensity over the next hour. We got a little bit of an icicle on this camera. On a good camera in this area. Yeah, pretty low resolution, unfortunately, out of the Missouri area. We'll bring our camera back over here into Springfield. Where's that one camera we found? It's really good. Oh wow. It surprises me, especially in some of these more southern states. Even with this much snow, we still got a lot of decent or a decent amount of traffic ongoing. We're still pretty far out, but do you think spring will be active with severe weather? I have no idea. I would assume so, given the Gulf of Mexico is pretty anomalously warm. Really, all we need is some decent strength, low pressure systems, and you're going to get severe weather with any of them that can bring that moisture up. Do I think Wolf City should be considered hazardous travel? I don't think so. I think it's mainly just going to be rain down there, if I understand correctly. Let me just double check to make sure that my assumptions are correct here. Actually, yeah, maybe a little bit of freezing rain on the backside of this thing is possible. So, yeah, I'd be careful on the roads. And also just keep an eye on those temperatures. It's going to start raining. It's going to be raining pretty decently from really now going into about 6 p.m. And then if your temperatures are at around 32 degrees and it's still raining, then you know that the roads are just getting worse and worse. We're not really expecting a whole lot of icing down there. Some light ice accumulation could be possible. There definitely could be some slick spots there in Wolf City. It's a little bit of a change on the models. You live in West Virginia outside of Princeton. Okay. Yeah, your snowfall is really going to be later, or at least the heavier snowfall. There is some like lighter snow moving into southern West Virginia right now. Oh, Princeton. Yeah, it looks like you guys might even be seeing some snowflakes. Potentially a little bit heavier than the snowfall you're seeing right now is about to move into your area. Let me check the higher definition radar just to see what it looks like on that. Yeah, a decent little band is coming in. Not a whole lot. It's not going to be like a super heavy snow, but a little bit heavier than what it is right now there for Princeton, certainly. Wish we had some of that snow down here on the coast again. Yeah, unfortunately for oh wow, it seems like we have a pretty heavy band up here in northern Springfield. Let me move my camera to at least our Missouri camera to northern Springfield. See if we can get into that band. Oh wow! Yeah, looks like we got a lot of accumulation already up here in northern Springfield. Probably some higher accumulations there than we're seeing further down to the south. Oh yeah, look at this. Check that out. That's coming down pretty hard. That's a pretty heavy band of snow. Florence, Alabama, get any snow? Yeah. No, you guys could get 1 to 2 inches. Some models are even indicating up to 3 to 4 inches possible. Is coming to central Illinois. It's kind of try. You could definitely see some like lighter snow up there near central Illinois. Miami, Oklahoma. I'm not sure. Yeah, snow is also possible in Coleman, but the further you go south, the less accumulation. There are some models that are bringing snow accumulations of like an inch down just to northern Birmingham. So we'll see. Let me see if we have any live cams near Miami. Yeah, we don't have any live cams near Miami. We do have a lot of cameras in Tulsa, though. Let me get. We'll have Oklahoma up here as well, because we got. Oh, that's pretty heavy. Really coming down here, North Springfield, and here in Missouri. Probably going to be some rapid accumulation there. All right, so we got Kansas, and we've got. We'll bring up. We'll bring up our Oklahoma cameras as well. And thank you, Lady J, for the $20. I asked for snow, not negative 25-degree temperatures. Oh, man. That is, yeah, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. You keep those up there, please. Do not send those down there. Oh, my goodness gracious. That sounds so cold. Negative 25-degree temperatures. I would literally, I think, like, especially like for people in Alabama, I think we also freeze faster than like people up to the north. So even though you could stand out in those temperatures for like a couple of minutes, I think I would just instantly freeze. Now this is Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you can see, yeah, there's actually not a whole lot of accumulation just yet, but that should pick up. Tulsa's supposed to be in the snow right now, but it's some pretty light snow. Pretty light snow. And so you're not going to really see a whole lot of accumulation until that snow picks up. But for Miami, you guys are in some light snow right now. There does seem to be a little bit of a heavier snow band trying to make it up to you. But all of this should increase in intensity as we move throughout the day. This is just the very beginnings of our snowstorm right now. I'm going to check in and see what's going on. You're in western North Carolina, about an hour from Asheville. You're supposed to get 1 to 2 inches, you believe. Let me see. Western North Carolina near Asheville. Yeah, you're in some of the higher elevations there. So it's certainly a possibility. Let me check the latest HRRR for you. So we'll have to go back to our 12Z. The GFS, I know, has more snow for you. So we'll kind of compare and contrast. Yeah, it looks like right around 5 a.m. on the 19th, that's when your heaviest snow is going to come through. Couple bands of some heavier snow and light snow there. Moving throughout the 19th. Let's go over to our total snowfall. Yeah, anywhere from like 2 to 3 inches is going to be possible. If we come over here to the GFS, though, you can see there is a difference between our models. See, Asheville is anywhere from 2 to 3 inches also. Like I think the HRRR is actually 1 to 2, but the 2 to 3 inches comes from the GFS. So my mistake there. But yeah, I mean, some decent snow is certainly possible there for Asheville. Hello, hello. Welcome, John. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Southerners are soft. No, we're not soft. We just don't get snow that often or cold air. It's the theory of evolution in full effect here in Alabama. Adaptations, genetics, how they change depending on where you live in the United States. Is certainly a thing. Like for instance, if your parents have lived up in North Dakota for a long time and then you have a baby, it will have base genetics that just allow it to keep warmer than you would if you've had somebody that lived in Miami all their life, and their grandpa lived in Miami and their great great grandpa lived in Miami. That a baby born here would have a harder time dealing with negative 30 degrees. And then just as you're alive, your body adapts real time to temperatures and kind of makes little adjustments. And so, it's not that we're soft. It's just that we don't get a whole lot of snow and a whole lot of cold air. And so we're just not used to it or ever ready for it. Yeah, if you have a half an inch of snow in northern Alabama, that's a snow day. Thoughts on Huntsville, Alabama? Huntsville could get in the snow. We're expecting anywhere from a dusting to anywhere from 2 to 3 inches possible. Really just depends on how this storm how this storm is how the storm is as it moves through. The HRRR has some decent snowfall starting at around 4 a.m. tonight. This is going to be a snow event for northern Alabama. It's going to be like one of those things where you go to sleep. It's definitely not going to be one of those things where I can tell you 100% you're not going to have to go to work today. But, just knowing Alabama and knowing that if we don't get snow, we're probably going to get freezing rain. And even if we get just a light coating on the roads, we get a lot of road closures out here. I think there's a pretty decent chance that you won't have to go to work, but I would still go to sleep tonight expecting to go to work. But you might wake up tomorrow morning with a couple inches on the ground because our snow is supposed to start at around 2 a.m. and continue until about 6 a.m. So a brief period there of some light to moderate snow before it moves out. So there's some pretty good chances there in northern Alabama for you know, some decent chances of not having to go to work. Guess I'm lucky. Our weather goes between -40 and +40, so your body is used to it all. Well, there you go. And no problem, Bama. Hey, Mike, how about Texas, San Antonio here? Rain, maybe. Let me check. I think you're outside of the severe weather risk. Yeah. And we got a severe weather risk for like Houston, Galveston, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. A small chance for tornadoes in an area that I don't actually think. Yeah, there are a couple folks I think that live out here. Yeah, small tornado chance out there for you guys. The main risk today is going to be damaging winds and small chance for some hail. All right, let's go check back on our winter weather cameras. So this is over here near Springdale. Seems like most of the places that we are that are getting some of our best snow right now that we can look at are cities that sound like the thing that everybody's waiting for, which is spring. Warmer temps, please. Yeah, decent amount of snow still falling there near Springdale. Looks like Fayetteville though. Let me bring up my radar. Where my radar at? Hello? My radar's done disappeared. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. This one. There we go. Yeah, our heaviest snow right now is down here near Farmington and Fayetteville, but that is tracking up to the north. So areas like Springdale, Hinesville, and Huntsville here in Arkansas are all going to have that chance for some pretty heavy snow to pick up here. Clarksville, Tennessee is certainly possible. Certainly possible to get 3 to 4 inches. Let's come back over here and check in on North Springfield. So yeah, this heavier band of snow is also slowly tracking up to the north here. I have a feeling as it goes further north, though, it's going to try to dissipate a little bit as it's going to get a little bit away from our ascension here, from our warm air that is kind of pumping into this area. But Bolivar and Lebanon, Missouri, could get in on some pretty heavy snow here in a little bit. Yeah, everybody's fingers are frozen, apparently. It's a good one, Ebro. It's been so hard this year for Florida and the Carolinas. For snow, not sure what it's going on. It's now 8 degrees. Yeah, it's probably your weather app being all weird, or maybe it's tracking those wind chills. Oh, you got a wood stove? What is that? I have never heard of a wood stove. I've heard of a wood fireplace. You're telling me there's stoves where you can put wood in it, and that's how you cook your food? That's pretty convenient. I'm serious. I've never heard of that before. A wood stove? I've heard of like fires made with wood, but I've never heard of a wood stove. Because if you think about it, if you have a gas stove, you gotta go pay for gas, right? If you get a wood stove, you just go outside and chop some trees. It's a big heater, but it's fueled by wood. Oh, so it's not actually a stove. Heaven, you're soft. No wood stove. True. True. I have an electric stove. I'm so soft, man. I'm actually so soft that it's not snow falling from the sky. It's me. And thank you, Kaylin, for the $3. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Where am I from? Northern Alabama. Waiting for my snow, potentially. I might stay up all the way into like midnight. I don't know if I can make it all the way to 3 a.m. though, or 6 a.m. Or a wood stove is another regional term for freestanding fireplace. Oh, nice. And there's nothing better than a nice crackling fire, especially when it's cold outside. There's just something special and relaxing. I don't know what it is, because in Vermont, um, cool little story. My great great grandpa built a house in Vermont, or someone built a house for my great great grandpa, or maybe it's my great grandpa. I'm a little bit iffy on the details, but in that house, we go there every now and then to ski at Okemo in Vermont, and it's got this really kind of like antique, custom, like built, obviously built from the rocks that they found from the property nearby, and it's just something about when there's a fire in there, man, and it's cold outside. Like you can just sit there. It's weird. Like usually when I'm in Vermont, I very little do I check my phone, and it's mainly because of that fireplace. It's like just enough dopamine to get you off your phone. Just got this really like warm kind of social aspect to it where you just want to chat around the fireplace. You don't really get that in many other scenarios. Yeah, it looks like some pretty heavy snow is kind of picking up here near Colbert and Tahlequah. Yeah, the ASMR of it too. Yeah. Your grandparents are from Vermont. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. Beautiful area. Oh, what happened to our snow cam here? Could not play video. That's a lie. Man. Yeah, still waiting for that heavy snow band to really pick up here for this camera. You can see the snow's actually getting a little bit heavier, but we're still not really noticing too much more accumulation yet. It really did use to cook on them. Oh. You could, but you don't. I use for heat. Interesting. You know what? Let me look up what a wood stove is, just so I can have a mental picture of it. Wood stove. Oh, so like this wood stove. Kind of. Yeah. I'm sure that's. I just looked up a picture of it. Those are probably new wood stoves. You also have another one outside to boil maple syrup. You make your own maple syrup? That is awesome. Thanks, ice cream. I appreciate that. That's the one for heating. Okay. This one has like little pots and pans on it. I'm guessing the whole stove gets hot enough, and then it heats up these little plates here, or maybe there's like something connected into the fire, and then through the conduct conduction no conduction of heat. Is that right? I think that's right. Through the metal, maybe makes it up to that plate. Pot belly wood stove. Hold on, pot belly wood stove. We're learning today, folks. You thought this was going to be a snow stream. Well, you just got clickbaited. We're going to be looking at stoves all day. Pot belly stove coverage live. Ooh, these are interesting. I think there's actually one of these at the Vermont house, actually. It kind of looks like if I were to imagine what a pot belly would look like, that's kind of what I would think. Yeah, you guys all got clickbaited. But it's just going to be nonstop talking about stoves the entire stream. Yours is an older one? Okay. The kettle is used for providing humidity into the house, not just for making hot water drinks. Wow. It's pretty cool. So you can like control all of that just using that stove. You used to strictly watch on the TV, but when you said that you never heard of a wood stove, you had to get on. Keep in mind, guys, I'm a millennial, okay? I'm pretty sure there is a wood stove. We just never use it in the Vermont house. But there's like this little basement area where we keep the ping pong table, where my family gets way too competitive in little ping pong tournaments. But like in one of the rooms, there is like this giant thing that kind of looks like some of these things that we've looked at, but we never use it. We usually just use the fireplace. But now I know what it's called and what it's for. So that's pretty cool. Add a cook stove with a warmer on top. And you guys don't have to worry about electricity, or you don't have to worry about, getting gas. You just go outside and chop some trees down, deforest your local area, and bam, fuel. All right. Let's kind of go back up here towards Missouri and kind of tell people who's about to get some snow. So it looks like Kansas City might be about to get into a little bit heavier snow. Got a little bit of a heavier snow band trying to make it up there. Also, Sedalia potentially has some decent more snow coming. Jefferson as well. Back over here in Kansas, man, Wichita's getting it pretty good, actually. Pretty heavy snow band over here. I actually want to check that out. Well, let's go look at it. Wichita seems to be having all the fun in Kansas. Which one? Here we go. Let's see, just a little bit north of Wichita. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Look at y'all. And it's pretty windy back over there, too. The electric stove, only twice the size and 6 feet tall. I am Gen Z and I know what a wood stove is. Uh-oh, I just got called out. Fine, fine. I'm just stupid. I tried to make an excuse for it, but the reality of the situation is I'm just dumb. Fine, you've convinced me. You've convinced me. Fair enough. Oh my gosh, look how much snow is falling here. I'm just kidding. The camera's all messed up. I think it's covered in snow, actually. Trying to find a good camera near Wichita. Some of them are, it's kind of hard to get a good snow shot on these traffic cameras just because of the low light. Maybe a little bit further into like west of. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice little camera. And you see, we got like blowing snow drifts out here as well. Do I get much flooding in my area? No. To be fair, I am a millennial that grew up mainly in the South. Mainly in the South. So we don't need complex, amazing solutions for our cold usually. But man, these last couple of years, man, they've been cold in the South. Let's go see what some of our latest snowfall reports are. Snowfall reports. Let's see who's getting it and who's not. Yeah, decent amount of snow already for a lot of Kansas. Seems like our winner right now. We need to get Colorado out of the picture here. Winner right now is 8 inches in Michigan. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So for Nebraska and Kansas, the winner. Okay, we need to remove South Dakota. There we go. And then Iowa too. Iowa's gotten 6.5 inches near Sydney, Iowa. Huh. Not a whole lot of snow reports up there, but in the southeastern portion of Iowa, that's where we kind of had the most snow. 6.5 inches, 6 inches in Fremont, Nebraska. Over in near Topeka, some areas have up to 5 inches on the ground there in Topeka. That's surprising. Okay, that's over here near a lake. I wonder if that lake, I wonder if we're getting like Perry Lake effect snow over here. Because that can happen. The lakes are a little bit warmer. And that's kind of like, if you look around, you can only see like 1 to 2 inches is what we saw on the cam. But just past this lake, some locally heavy amounts of up to 5 inches. Also, it does seem like this might be a little bit elevated too. So they might have been in the snow longer due to colder temperatures aloft. Now I know. Yes, absolutely. I am dumb no more, thanks to you guys. They cook and heated their houses. Nice. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good solution for it. You know, back in the day, it was just fires, right? And then someone came up with the genius wood stove solution. All right, we're back over here near Springfield, Missouri now. We're still getting some pretty heavy snow over here. Actually, it looks like in southeastern Wichita. There's our cameras again. Here we go. Let me see if we can get a good camera in southeastern Wichita, because there's a pretty heavy band over there. Now you can see visibility is pretty low out here. Yeah, definitely a decent portion of heavy snowfall happening here. Let's see. I know, but I'm definitely dumb when it comes to wood stoves. But I've learned something from you guys today, so I do appreciate you. Thank you for teaching me about the ways of the wood stove. Honestly, if I ever end up living in a cold area, which I never will, because yeah, my body just doesn't do great in cold. I definitely would think about getting a wood stove. It sounds like a all-in-one solution there for a lot of good things. Ooh, got some traffic over here on this highway. What's going on here? Can we get another look at that? So that's there. That might be a red light, actually. Might not be traffic. Yeah, some pretty heavy snow in Wichita. Is Georgetown, Delaware supposed to get 3 to 6 inches Wednesday and Thursday? Delaware. Yeah, if that's in southern Delaware, I wouldn't bank on 6 inches. I would go anywhere from 1 to 3, and then just be happy if you get locally higher amounts. Let me see where that is. What did you say? Georgetown. So yeah, that's southern over there. If we, I'll just go through all the model runs for you real quick, because there is a pretty vast disagreement on just how north some of our light accumulations go, and Georgetown's kind of on that weird line. Let me go over to the total snowfall here. We'll just run through it really quick. So yeah, it looks like the HRRR is saying 1 to 2 inches. The NAM 3K is probably going to be your best friend, I think. But the NAM 3K is an outlier. So definitely would not expect up to 10 inches. Every other, most, I would say like the best model that I think is handling this right now is probably the GFS or the HRRR. And the NAM is an extreme outlier. So yeah, for this snowfall event, looks like no snow. So I'd be happy with a couple of inches. 6 inches, though, is probably not going to happen. We've been getting southern shifts, and that's kind of continued into today as well. Willard, Missouri. Willard, Missouri. Oh, it's not popping up. Oh, because I put a K in there. It's there. It is. Willard, Missouri. So you're over there near Springfield. Right model up. Yeah, it looks like you guys could be in a hot spot there for like 6 to 8 inches possible. And just keep in mind, if we get a little bit higher snowfall ratios, some local amounts of a foot of snow is going to be possible. Just really depends on how this reacts throughout the day. Because it's supposed to start off near like a 7-to-1 ratio, then move to a 10-to-1 ratio, and then move into like a 12 to 15-to-1 ratio, which the higher you go up with that number on the left, like the 7, 10, and 15, the more snow accumulation you can get in a smaller period of time. And that usually happens because there's colder air aloft, making the storm a more effective snow producer. Delaware is a safe spot, I feel, for the next 50 years to escape climate change. What? That's an interesting argument. I wouldn't say for the next 50 years, maybe for the next 10. But you guys are already experiencing pretty big changes from climate change. I mean, this has been the first decent snow year up here in a while. And that's mainly due to the fact that we've had an abnormally warm Gulf, or we call it the AMOC. It's been abnormally warm up in this area. So really any storm that's been trying to come through this area in the past couple of years has been really tapping into that. This year, though, we've had just, multiple Arctic blasts bring really cold air into this region. And so we have a pretty cool region off of the coast there right now. So, but that'll probably go away as we go into the spring and summer. And there's no guarantees that that'll come back. But you guys are already getting pretty affected by it up there. Let's see here. Oxford, Mississippi for Tuesday. Oxford, Mississippi. Let me see if that's in the northern portion. Yeah, there it's definitely possible. I would say anywhere from a dusting to 2 inches is possible for Oxford. A lot of question marks there on just how much snow you'll end up getting. Last ice storm here, you went down hard as a fire truck went by. They did a U-turn and checked on me. Oh, did you like slip and fall? that's that's always fun. Used to think Cleveland, Ohio was a safe spot until we had our tornado outbreak in August. Yeah, that's another thing that's going to be happening. It's something that I have predicted for a while that we keep continuing to see happen year after year is that, the more warmth, the more warm the Gulf of Mexico is, the more moisture you're going to have available to the low pressure systems that come into here. So we are still, over the years, as long as that warming trend continues, which it has been each year, we're gonna be seeing that moisture surge further up to the north more often, and that also could potentially, turn Canada into more of a tornado hotspot as well, which we've been seeing some evidence of that creeping up. You can call it whatever you want, but officially, according to everybody else except for the United States, which again, United States only makes up 300 million people in the world. That's still the Gulf of Mexico. Do you think the climate change is warming the Great Lakes as well? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we like the Great Lakes used to just like almost as soon as winter started, the Great Lakes would just freeze over, and lake effect snow would happen every now and then. But every single year now, we get these massive lake effect snow bands that set up where we get like 3 to 6 feet of snow, like almost every single year, and multiple times per year, and sometimes throughout the entire year. And that the reason for that is, the it takes longer for the lakes to cool down from the summer heat. I mean, sometimes, I've forecasted a couple of times where we have 100-degree heat indexes working its way all the way into the Great Lakes, and that warms up the lakes. And as you go into the winter months, that lake heat still stays, and as a convective helper, I guess you could say, for that cold air that rides over these regions. So yeah, I think that trend will certainly continue. We are supposed to be getting 50 degrees this weekend. It is currently -5 degrees. Blech. I feel bad for you. Other than monsoons, if you can place in New Mexico that doesn't get under the monsoon, if you can find a place in New Mexico that doesn't get monsoon influences, would be a good choice. Honestly, like for me, I've been watching climate change since I was like 12. That's like been like half of my interest in meteorology. This right here is a perfect place. Just perfect. As far as most of my research has done, it's warming a lot slower down here in Antarctica. Any type of aerosols that gets put into the air up here takes about 10 years to get down further to the south. So we're gonna have lagging of that warmth. Also over here, like southern South America as well would be a great place there as well. But it's completely surrounded by ocean, so you'll always have that ocean cooling. It warms up faster over land, but there's no big land masses over here. Definitely a good spot for climate change. Unfortunately, though, their immigration policies out here are quite complex. But if I can, I'm moving to New Zealand. That is where you like that's because like up here, this is where all most of the world population lives in the northern hemisphere, and most of the emissions that come out of these areas stay up in the northern hemisphere for the most part, and it takes a while for that to filter its way, about 10 to 15 years to filter its way down into the southern hemisphere of the United States. Not only that, we have very abnormal temperatures up here in the Arctic right now. And so we're getting a lot of methane released out of the Arctic and also CO2 from the permafrost that's out in that region. And so that adds to our total. And all that's happening up to the north, and that takes even longer to kind of get filtered down to the south. So uh, if you're looking for an area that's going to stay the safest, the longest during like some sort or like a global catastrophe due to climate change, definitely want to be further south than further north in the northern hemisphere. So definitely don't want to be in the northern hemisphere. Although Canada will probably do pretty decently for a while. What if the ice caps melt though? So the problem with the ice caps, we won't talk about this for too long, but since we're getting questions, might as well do a little bit of education. So the natural albedo, right? So the ice caps are white. White reflects light. So the sunlight coming down to the earth hits that ice cap and reflects off. But underneath it is the dark ocean. So you're changing the albedo from a white color to a dark blue color, which as we all know, the darker the color, the more sunlight it absorbs. So if you lose the ice caps up there, then our warming is going to increase just a lot faster naturally from that feedback system. But they're still hanging on surprisingly, but they are melting. They're really thin, the ice caps up there, a lot thinner than they used to be. Willard, Missouri. Let me check it out. Willard, Missouri. Yeah, so Willard's getting hit pretty good right now. If that snow band is still there, okay, looks like that snow band did dry up. But you guys were in some pretty decently heavy snow, so your snowfall amounts might be pretty good if you keep on getting those heavier snow bands. Another heavy snow band is reaching up to the north eventually. So definitely, keeping an eye on that. But man, our heaviest snow is back over here near Wichita, Derby, and El Dorado. But yeah, for Willard, I'd be expecting anywhere from like 4 to 8 inches. Don't know much about all this. Yeah, it's a really complex subject, and I think that's why there's a lot of. It's really easy to. It's just like weather, right? The similarities are pretty high in terms of the difficulty in understanding how things work. And whenever you have something like that, it is way easier to manipulate someone's opinion. So unfortunately, that's why climate change is a political issue for a lot of people in a lot of people's heads. But in reality, it's about as it's as scientifically confirmed as the Earth is round. And everybody that doesn't believe it just doesn't know enough about it to fact check, and unfortunately get manipulated to think it's not real. But it's about as real as the Earth is round. So I don't talk about it in political terms. That's just what's happening. So, what do you think North Carolina far east would be apart from Tornado Alley or whatever it's called? So one of the things about the interestingness of the kind of East Coast in this area is that a lot of the moisture that comes out of the Gulf of Mexico kind of pulls up into this area. For it to make it further up to the north and east, you need to have a low pressure system that lasts all the way into that area. A lot of the times, though, the storm is kind of in the process of dying, and also it interacts with these mountains as well, which can also kind of disrupt some of those mid-level and upper level, or not upper level, kind of the lower level wind patterns, which are important. But we do get some decent, severe weather in this area. So, it's something to always kind of watch out for. But I wouldn't say that I would say like the most anomalously like shift that we will get from the tornado seasons, which we've already been kind of seeing. We have our typical tornado alley here. I think a lot of people think the southeast is in like this new tornado alley just because of kind of misleading headlines in the past couple of years. But the southeast has always got tornadoes. It's not a new uptent trend in the southeast. It just goes up and down depending on the patterns that are out there. But I think an area that will definitely see increased tornado activity will be up in here for sure. That will happen as we get into the future, and we're already seeing evidence of that picking up. If we're going to get any shift, I think it's going to be further to the north. It's very interesting. Yeah, I think they don't talk about it because they're scared. A lot of people are just scared to talk about just straight up facts. Like they're just afraid, like because you got a lot of people on the right that are against climate change, so they're probably super scared about losing that portion of their audience. But you got to draw a line when it's fact. Up where I am outside of Ottawa, Ontario, we've had a few, and yeah, that will probably increase, Teresa. Yeah, no problem. Cats and crows, I appreciate that. Yeah, still some heavier snow over here north of Tahlequah. That band of snow near Fayetteville is still moving up towards Springdale. Trying to see if we're getting any areas. Yeah, so our kind of most eastern extent of our snow bands here, so where we're going to be expecting some light snow to start to pile up, it's going to be over there near West Plains, and eventually over there near Jefferson City might already be seeing some light snowflakes there. Also over here near Hot Springs Village and Russellville and Conway, they apparently, according to the radar here, let me check our MPing reports. We're getting a pretty big transition down here into that freezing rain. Yeah, and we are starting to see some rain and freezing rain reports over here near Hot Springs, now all the way up into in parts of Little Rock. I'm really starting to see more let me see what is that exactly? I think that's freezing rain report or sleet. That's a sleet report there. You attended a tornado convention at formidable in Batavia, Illinois 7 years ago with Tom Skilling. And man, I loved it. I was able to ask him so many questions. Met all the top climatologists too. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. The fastest way to learn, which I still believe is not college, it's just a genius mentor. You want to learn a subject to the T, college will get you the basics, but a mentor, like a mentor that's got all the education inside of their brain, that is the fastest way to learn because they can tell you in a lot more detail than a textbook can, and in a way that's probably more demonstrative than a textbook. Man, look at all this heavy snow still happening here north of Park City. This is definitely our heaviest snow band still. I guess we'll probably eventually move into the Missouri area. St. Louis here, we get about 2 inches from the band that came through very early this morning. How much snow do you I think we'll end up getting? Let me check if that happened near St. Louis. So if you already got like near, let me check our snowfall reports over in there. Yeah, it looks like anywhere from it looks like 1 to 1.7. Some isolated areas getting pretty close to 2 inches there. Let me check our latest models in those areas. Yeah, some it's pretty much like I would say like your heaviest snowfall should get started there around 6 p.m. And by the time we're all said and done with it, since you've already gotten like an inch and a half in that area, potentially another inch and a half to go, you could end up with pretty close to 2 to 3 inches over there in St. Louis by the time it's all said and done. Internship and college, yeah, that's a good combo. Although I hate interns. I hate the non like why would you go intern at some place that's not paying you? I don't like that aspect of internships. You should get paid like everywhere. That should just be a law. Anyone making chili or beans? Ooh. No, but I should probably get some. That sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. I'm just checking something. Got a text message I'm just looking at. All right. Vegetable soup with taco and ranch seasoning, garnished with grilled cheese. All right. That sounds pretty darn good. Go check out some of these other spots. In Springfield, Missouri, sitting by the fireplace watching it snow is one of your favorite pastimes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't get much better than that in terms of like pure relaxation potential. This is in northern Springfield, and you guys are still getting some pretty decent snow. Is it looking like for Somerville in northwest Georgia for snow? Somerville. Let me see. Let me see where that is. Northwest Georgia, you said. Oh, I found it. Yeah, looks like over here near Somerville. We'll go check out some of our latest models for the region. This is the HRRR. HRRR says nothing for Somerville. And that's not our only model. Our GFS model says 90 or at hour 98 here. We have about dusting. Maybe let me see what that. Yeah, like 0.5, like a dusting there. So, and I think this is probably your best bet. So I'd be happy with some snowflakes. Somerville about to be Winterville. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably not. Looking like a low chance right now. We're Mississippi, but we're originally from Ohio. Oh, nice. Wichita, Kansas, finally snowing heavy, almost whiteout conditions. Yeah, there's some very heavy snow happening over here in northern Wichita. We were looking at that a second ago. Let's go get a camera over there near Park City. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, thank you, Delta Music. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nan, I don't know what to say to you about that. I'm sorry you got manipulated. That's, I guess, all I'll say. Where would you rate it as the most dangerous place for global warming? I think like Saudi Arabia, like over in the Omar area, like near Dubai. We've already seen like 160 degrees in terms of the feels like temperature out there, and that can cause some really bad issues. Really bad issues um, in terms of what's it called, wet bulb temperatures. You can like die in like 5 minutes in those kind of temperatures because your body doesn't produce sweat. It's almost unlivable in some of those spots in the summer. Snowfall prediction for Knoxville. Yeah, we'll check that out. How long do I estimate? It really just depends I'm in the opinion in like 5 to 10 years we're gonna have some pretty. I think so. In terms of global warming, I don't think our first issue is going to be temperature or even flood related. I mean, we're already seeing more, dangerous events across, in different countries that are very abnormalously, that are very, that are anomalies caused by it. But um, like, I think our first issue is going to be food insecurity. Food only you only need a little bit of either precipitation changes or food changes. So yeah, over there near Knoxville, the HRRR is saying 1.7 inches. Let me check on the GFS. Yeah, about 1 to 2 inches there near Knoxville is possible. It seems. But yeah, so you only need a little bit of a change for what are they called? Cash crops? Is that right? Yeah, for like crops to have an issue. So I think that's going to be one of our biggest challenges early on. Is where do we grow food in a changing climate? Blows my mind that some people just don't believe in climate change. Well, like I said, it's a very complex thing to learn and kind of to connect all the dots. And if somebody has like a 9 to 5 job, they just don't got time to be learning about all that. So because of that, they become very susceptible to manipulation. So, I don't like hate them. I don't hate people that don't believe in climate change. I understand why they don't, but if they want to learn, I will connect the dots for them. But if they're going to sit here and tell me that the earth is flat, you know, that's their opinion. They're not going to get banned, but I believe in free speech, but it's not a debate. It's just not a debate. Again, climate change is as real as the earth is round. So, that's just facts. If someone doesn't believe in that, then they probably don't believe in science. And you're not going to be able to convince somebody that doesn't believe in science using science. So why do you think certain people want our neighbors up north? What do you mean? Or animals? Yeah, Antarctica. Yeah, that is another thing. Like, even though it warms up slower, Antarctica is pretty sensitive to the temperature changes. And yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of different issues down there in terms of glaciers melting, in terms of the waters warming up a little bit faster down there. And yeah, I mean, the melting is getting worse in Antarctica. That just lowers our overall planet albedo down even further. And yeah, I mean, this year was crazy. Was crazy. I mean, we had record global ocean temperatures for the entire year, which leads to higher precipitation potential. We had a lot of big time flood events this year as well. Um, yeah, was the highest surface temperature humans can withstand. I think it's like around like a hundred. I think humans can withstand like temperatures up to 150 degrees, but not for very long. So it's more about time in those temperatures. Wet bulb temperatures, though, are extremely dangerous, which is essentially the humidity in the air mixed with the temperature outside. What essentially that does is it, like, if there's too much humidity in the air, your body just doesn't produce sweat, right? Which is your natural cooling. It's like your AC. If you don't have your natural cooling because the humidity is too high, you can die within like 30 minutes to an hour, being outside in like 90 to 100-degree temperatures. Going to be a brutal summer. It just depends. I mean, there's still climate variability, right? Like, for instance, like the United States had the coldest, one of the coldest Januaries it's seen in a while, but also globally in January, it was a record. It was a record month for heat. So there's still climate variability. Some places will be cooler. Some places will be way too hot. So Memphis time and amount. Sure, I got you. So there's actually some snow trying to get to you already, but it's going to be a little bit longer before that really starts to pick up. If we come over, we'll do timing on our HRRR, and then we'll also check in on those snowfall amounts. So it seems like as we move into around 5 p.m., you should have some sort of mixed precip, either sleet or freezing rain, and that most of that should transition into snow. As we move into the overnight hours, around 12 a.m., a little bit of snow will continue there until ending at around 6 or 7 a.m. Coming over to our latest snowfall totals here from the HRRR, it's saying about 1 to 2 inches there for Memphis. I think the GFS has higher amounts for you, though. Let me check the GFS. Yeah, the GFS. So I would expect anywhere from 1 to 3 inches there into Memphis. Let's check back in with our winter weather radar, see where our snow is spreading to. Okay, so it looks like Mountain Home and Batesville could potentially be getting into some higher snowfall rates there here, probably within the next hour. Jefferson City might start seeing some snowflakes. Let me see if we're getting any interesting snowflake reports. And it seems like our furthest to the east snow reports, like Cape Girardeau. Interesting. A little bit of a couple snow reports just came out of Cape Girardeau. And we haven't had any snowfall reports yet in Lebanon and St. Robert, even though we do have a decent portion here of light snow. Or we have another ice age. Actually, that's not completely out of the question. So one of the things that we've been noticing is that as we get warmth further up into the northern regions, here into the tundra, especially up here into Canada, and then also up into Russia, we're getting a drying out of that tinder up there, or that the brush, the tundra, there's bushes and trees and stuff still in the Arctic. Um, and one of the things that's been happening is we keep on getting these large wildfires out in this area, and it's increasing pretty rapidly year by year. And if that increases to a point to where we get like a layer of smoke that covers the entire Earth, which is low chance right now, but can't rule out, because like they don't put those wildfires out at all because they can't access it using the roads. You could definitely get some locally cooler temperatures with that, but it only lasts for a brief moment as those fires also release a crap ton of CO2 into the air. You're in Conway, Arkansas. Am I getting snow or ice? Conway, we've actually seen some snow reports as of recently in Conway, but a lot of that should be transitioning into freezing rain. I wouldn't say an ice age, but you could definitely get some locally cooler temperatures due to that for a brief moment. Do you anticipate any difficult getting data if the current admin makes cuts and changes? Yes. Yes, I am keeping a close eye on that. So far, there's no big news out of the area. We've heard rumors that they're thinking about cutting like 50% of the funding and staff, like I think 30% of the staff, or either vice versa. But either way, it's quite a lot. They have already deleted some websites in the NOAA. Like they deleted a radar program where we were gonna upgrade all of our radars, and they deleted that off the website. I don't know if that means they got rid of the program or if they deleted it. It's still really hard to get information about that. But I will tell you this: if we do get a confirmation that Doge is going to be cutting any significant funding from the NOAA, and it starts affecting the warnings, we will be organizing a protest on this channel. It'll be our first meet and greet. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, they've already gutted a couple of very needed agencies, so who knows? In Batesville, Arkansas, no snowflakes yet. Gotcha. Let me see where Batesville is. Batesville, Arkansas. Oh yeah, nice. You guys already have an inch. You see, you already have a few inches. Oh, no snowflakes yet. Yeah, it seems like you might be getting close to some snowflakes. You might get some snowflakes here within the next couple of minutes. It's going to be a really light fall, so you're going to have to really pay attention to see them. Any of the needed ones? Any examples? So there is I mean, this is really off topic, but there is the I think it's the Financial Protection Bureau, something to do with like say like the bank charges you a bunch of like fees, illegal fees. You send in or a report to them on those illegal fees, and they investigate it. And if they find any fraud, they give you all that money back. And they've paid out Americans like 20 billion, and they completely got rid of that. That no longer exists. But yeah, so but I mainly just care about the NOAA, at least in terms of what we're going to talk about on this channel. And so far, no major news out of there, but I'm watching it very closely. Yeah, the Consumer Fraud Protection Bureau. Yeah, that one. It looks like that heavier snow band that was making it up to Fayetteville and Springdale is moving through the Springdale area. Not as heavy as it was. It seems like our main area of lift is still back over here near Tahlequah. Also over here into Tulsa, we're getting some heavier snow start to pick up. Let's go check out that on our cameras, because Tulsa was struggling for a little bit in its in its snowfall amounts. All right, this is Missouri. Where is our Kansas cameras? Here we are. Yeah, this was in Wichita, where we're still seeing some pretty heavy snowfall ongoing. But I want to check out Tulsa, Oklahoma, not Kansas. Where's my Oklahoma cameras? There they are. That would be maybe this camera. Actually, like a camera down here would probably be in that heavier snow. Oh gosh. Okay. Can't see out of that one. Oh wow. Most of our cameras are just covered. All right. Here's a camera. Some blowing snow here. We need more radars. Yeah. We definitely need more radars, not fewer. And that would be like, I mean, if they cut the funding from there or like shut it down, which I don't think they're that stupid. But if for some reason they are, there's definitely got to be a pushback, and I'm gonna be definitely orchestrating that. I'll try to partner up with other people's with voices in this space. I'm sure Reed Timmer will be ready to push back against that as well. You'll probably see just a mass movement if some big news on that comes out. It says there's heavy snow here, but I can't really get a. Is this Tulsa? I think this is Tulsa. Yeah, that is Tulsa. There should be heavier snow here as well. Oh yeah, there it is. Well, yeah, I mean, the main thing is that there's a difference in the amount of expertise than somebody that's in broadcast meteorology and somebody that studies just regular meteorology and really gets into the dynamics of everything. And then they study, after like further into the future. So there's different degrees of knowledge when it comes to weather, and people that are in the SPC are usually some of the smartest, and that also work for the NWS are usually the brightest of the bunch. And also they make the decisions on maintaining radars, which need to be maintained. If you don't have enough funding, you can't do that. There's a lot of things that could impact, and we just don't need our weather infrastructure underfunded any more than it already is, because it's actually already underfunded. I think Sadie for the 5. Don't think there will. Yeah, I really heavily doubt it. But if they do, I don't think it's going to last long, because the weather world is really loud when you piss us off. So when you have literally people that will drive thousands of miles to chase a storm. Just imagine all those people driving in a caravan to their nearest congressman's office. But there's a main building, I forget where it is, but there's a main NOAA building. But as far as I understand, they're already accessing their data and computers, all that kind of stuff. Doges. So, but we don't have any like major breaking news yet of like whether or not it's being significantly, how to the extent of how significant it's being impacted. Definitely some more research that needs to be done and trying to figure out what's really going on, because whatever happens in that area, we need to act fast, because it can compound. The longer you wait, the more funding that runs out, and bigger problems start to arise. People could die. Yeah, that's why there's going to be such a big. I mean, it's not going to just be the weather community. I mean, some people, in the weather space gets millions of views. I mean, imagine. I mean, I can tell you right now, people like Ryan Hall or Max Velocity would hop on real quick to a pushback on that. And a lot of angry people. So I feel like even if they do something, it's going to be very short lived, because we're going to make a big fuss about it. Looks like still some pretty heavy snow up here in northern Wichita, making up into El Dorado. And a decent band starting to really get organized here south of Derby, south of Eureka as well. That's pretty much where some of our heaviest snowfall is. We also have some decently heavy snowfall still near Tahlequah and Stillwell. It's trying to make it up into the Springdale and Rogers area, but this area of snow is pretty it's moderate to heavy. And then back over here near Oklahoma City, looks like we're still getting some freezing rain in this area. So driving conditions are still probably pretty bad over here. Snow will be awesome tomorrow. Too excited. Yeah. The nuclear employees they fired. Yeah, I read about that. That's what concerns me. They did, to be fair, they did rehire them after they figured out that, oh, wait, those are the people that control our nuclear weapons, our nuclear stockpiles. They were like, oh, wait, maybe we shouldn't have done that. So that gives me hope, at the very least, that they can convince to not be dumb with a big enough pushback. You're in Denver. We got light snow last night, and and the trees look like bleached coral the way it sits on the branches. Interesting. They were very happy with the snowstorm on January 21st. Yeah, same here. I think a lot. The South has been getting lucky this year for snowfall. It's been a very snowy southern season. And in fact, there are some areas I think like down here in southern in like near the Gulf Coast that have actually gotten like more snow than Chicago this year. Cincinnati totals. Let me check out the latest models on that. Yeah, it looks like anywhere from like 1 to 2 inches is going to be possible. Check the GFS's solution on that. Yeah, GFS has a dusting to an inch, so I would expect a dusting to 2 inches possible there. Although to be fair, worst case scenario, if they do like just completely defund the NWS, I have a feeling we can band together and still fund it. It'll be technically a non-governmental agency at that point, but I mean we can't just let it die. Or how the flooding states will handle the freeze that's coming. Oh, that'll be interesting. I mean, with higher, faster moving rivers, probably be less susceptible to freezing over. But areas that still don't have power, I would definitely. I don't know what they could do. I mean, you would really hope that there's some sort of mass response to provide places of warmth, like hotels and stuff. That's what like FEMA usually does. So hopefully that I haven't really read into it too much. Any chances the storm could pick up in intensity along the Tennessee-Kentucky border tonight? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're expecting a decent amount of snow up there. It's like actually our area where we're at least over here that has kind of the higher chances of getting some decent snow. Let me check out the latest 12Z model. We should be getting the 18Z HRRR in just a little bit. But yeah, on the Tennessee-Kentucky border, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 5 inches being possible. It looks like further east, maybe a little bit less on the HRRR. Let me check out the GFS on that too. A little bit heavier snow pretty much along the entire border. I would say like 1 to 4 inches in pretty much from this corridor to the right, and then from this corridor to the left, 4 to 5 inches. There's a new mesoscale discussion out. Okay, yeah, we'll go check in on that. Let's see what it's got to say. Yeah, we have a freezing rain and embedded sleet expected to persist through the afternoon, a transition to snow expected by the evening. That's going to be for Little Rock over there into Fort Smith, Tahlequah, Muskogee, Stigler there in Oklahoma. Can I tell the snow to stay out of North Carolina? Yeah. Hey, snow, stay out of North Carolina. But sometimes the snow just don't listen. A couple of chasers in Missouri and Arkansas said they're not coming to Tulsa or Oklahoma. They only like snow, not ice. Interesting. Uh-oh. Looks like Mandy wants me to tell it to snow in North Carolina. Uh-oh. Who do I listen to? You'll keep your worth, but not hurricanes? Yeah, unfortunately, you can't have one without the other one. Corey said that, and Tyler. Yeah, well, man, they're there to show you where the snow is. And if the snow's not there, probably not going to be there. You know, snow chase or ice storm chasing is like one of the most dangerous things you can do. So it's also not really smart for them to do that either. You're from Ontario and haven't seen a winter like yours in years. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. Oh, okay. You're talking to somebody else. Never mind. When will Kentucky see the snowstorm? Yeah, tonight going into the morning. You guys already have some light snow up there, but it should pick up. Let me we'll do the latest model run for you guys in terms of timing. So yeah, really starting at around 4 p.m. We should see some light to moderate snow there in western Kentucky, and then by 9 p.m., almost the entire state of Kentucky, minus like up there near Maysville and extreme southeastern Kentucky, should be in some snow. And then by 12 a.m., still a decent amount of snow. By 4 a.m., still a decent amount of snow. And then by the time we get to around 10 a.m., there might be still some small little flurries happening on the backside. But for the most part, the accumulation will be over. Maybe a small increase in some of our higher elevations as we go into 3 p.m. on the 19th. Knoxville timing. Knoxville timing looks like it should get started around 2 a.m. tomorrow with some moderate to heavy snow by 6 a.m. with some light to moderate snow staying around until about 6 p.m. on the 19th. Yeah, over here, like to the west of Little Rock, definitely want folks to be, considering, to stop driving on the roads here. We do have some pretty heavy icing starting to pick up over here. And for the folks near like Russellville, Hot Springs Village, and also Hot Springs, and potentially also Little Rock here, this area of heavier rain is about to come into your area. And since it's low freezing, a lot of that's going to freeze on the surface, turning almost all of these roads into ice skating rinks. And unless you got ice skates on your cars, I certainly would not drive in this unless you have a dangerous emergency that you need to attend to. Thank you, Jim, for subscribing. I do appreciate that. Good afternoon. You've been busy with your cat Tesla. She has babies day before yesterday, and I'm helping her feed them. Oh, well, that's nice of you. Yeah, it still seems like Oklahoma City is also still dealing with some freezing rain back there. Do we have any snow reports? Yeah, we have tons of snow reports. All throughout Kansas and Missouri. Also over there near Omaha with 4 to 5 inches up there in Nebraska. Yeah, looks like we got some 2-inch snow reports in Topeka. Wichita is probably about to get a lot more new snow reports. Still not a whole lot of snow reports yet in Arkansas, but according to some of our Arkansas cameras, we do already have accumulation, especially over here near Springdale. Yeah, Hot Springs is about to start to ice up. Yes. Crazy how we don't have any in Miami. Well, there just might not be anybody reporting there, but as far as I can see, you guys haven't really got much heavy snow over there near Miami. That should pick up though. We do have a heavier band starting to get started over there near Pawhuska and Bartlesville and Coffeyville. It's going to be an all-day event. Steady Tricks. Can y'all hear my dogs barking? No, I don't think you can. You might be able to hear it when I talk. I don't know why they're going so crazy. There must be like a dog or a human out there or something. What y'all barking at? Hi. Yeah, there's 3 of them now. Yeah. Make the snow go away. Yeah. I wish I could for you, but then there's going to be somebody else in the area that's going to get mad if I do that. Still coming down here in mid Missouri. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of areas of like heavy snow, but definitely some light to moderate snow in a couple of different areas out here. You heard something that sounds like a dog yapping, but I'm pretty sure it's your radiator. Yeah, the dogs are barking like crazy. I'm surprised if you guys can't hear them. Oh, what the heck? Hold on 1 second. Goodness. The barking at the cows. The cows are walking, so they're barking at them. Jeez Louise. Well, all right, folks. I think that's gonna be it for like this little update, this little area of coverage. We are expecting this to increase throughout the day, but we might come back on later. I just want to come on here and chat with you guys. Really, I'm not a fan of covering snow, but yeah, hopefully we answered a lot of your guys' questions. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. If you don't see me again, and I might come back on like at around later today. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how the storm plays out. Yeah. I mean, most of you guys are going to be out there enjoying the snow. Like, if you're getting good snow, you shouldn't be watching me anyways. You should be out there making snowmen. Yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you maybe later today. We'll see. Peace.